So I have a bit of a two-parter for you here. I'm sure you're familiar with the Discord sphere in politics. There are a few videos of you going around. So the pretext to that second question will be this: do you still identify as an anarchist?
Um, Man, I'm really sympathetic to a lot of anarchist ideals, and I keep getting contradicting answers on what it means to be an anarchist. Can I just say that as a libertarian socialist, I would fit in their camp? Like I can be adjacent? 99% of the time when I see anarchists anywhere, in theory or social media or whatever, when they say something that I tend to agree with it. But there's always some like little, I'm on board with the ideology, and then there'll be like, anarchism means immediately abolishing hospitals and restaurants, and then I'm like, there's always something that loses me here. But broadly, I'm sympathetic. They're the least malicious of the lefty spaces, that's for sure.
All right. So in saying that, do you yourself, though you are sympathetic, would you call yourself an anarchist?
I guess just for the sake of semantic efficiency, I would just call myself a libertarian socialist.
Okay. So the follow-up question I have is, so this meme video of you is positively radioactive. You say, um as an anarchist, you don't like the FBI, but then you go on to say that the FBI can be trusted to prevent civil uprisings. I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you meant specifically by, you know, you can, on one hand you say, fuck the FBI, the government institution, the establishment, blah blah blah. We can't trust them, but if a civil uprising were to happen, we need someone to handle it. And you refer to the FBI as this quote unquote someone.
Yeah,
Could you
well,
just elaborate a little more on what you mean by that?
yeah, sure. As long as we live in a world with an FBI, we have to understand what their drives and motivations are, because they're a very powerful institution that we have to live with, you know, for now, at least. And the FBI is indeed good at identifying and responding to what it perceives to be threats to American hegemony and American political stability internally. I don't think the FBI is as politically partisan as most political agencies in this country. That is to say, I think that a lot of their decision making is motivated by what they perceive to be a genuine and apolitical interest in defending the country from internal threats. Obviously, that is itself a political bias. Defending America from threats is a phrase loaded with political bias. But I think it's important to understand that, because if you take a look at what they've been up to for the past decade and a half, like they've been more interested in combating the far right than the far left. Most of their public statements have been about the prominence of white supremacists within the police, or about how like this group or that group have like been associated with far right neo-Nazism. Of course, there's the whole Mueller investigation stuff. There's the modern seizure of stuff from Mar-a-Lago and all the federal agencies involved in that. The feds are constantly getting shit, nowadays more so from the MAGA crowd, because they don't like the fact that the feds are actually doing their job, which is, of course, federal investigation. I think that if you're a leftist, you have to understand the nature of this behavior and how to effectively use it. And right now, like, let's be clear, socialists are not capable of stopping fascism from rising in this country. We are weak, and we are insubstantial. That's just the way of things. But as long as the FBI is acting as a bulwark against the worst of what they perceive to be internal threats, I think it's fair to say, like, yeah, I may not like or trust the FBI, but I can trust them to be a wall against some types of civil instability. And in this case, the civil instability is not from Fred Hampton, it's not from Martin Luther King Jr., it's from Donald Trump and the MAGA cronies. And to that end, I'm happy that they're around in this specific instance, you know. It's like it's a third party, right? It's not just right versus left. There are other agencies. We have to be aware of what they're up to. Otherwise, we can't really make use of their behavior or take advantage of it.
Right. So let me just piece these words together for a second in my head. In your view, you see the FBI as an institution separate from the establishment of, the let's say the general government as it stands right now. You see them as a third entity overseeing both right and left issues, correct?
Yeah, well, I don't think that their political bias shifts immediately with the current presidential administration. I think they, much like our brass in the Pentagon, I think they represent more of an archetypal, like, American institution, like capital A, capital I, than they do the whims of the current administration. And if the current administration, or the former one in this case, is openly fascist, I don't think they necessarily sway with that wind, at least not immediately and not as extensively as they might otherwise.
Do you believe that the FBI as an institution is, I would say, I wouldn't say protected, but maybe uh, immune, so to speak, to being partisan or being infiltrated in such a way so as to be made partisan?
No, not at all. It just hasn't happened yet to the extent that they've gotten as bad as the the far right. It could happen though.
All right, thank you. So I have one more question. What's up with the horsecock meme?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, there's quite a few pictures and videos that go around about you talking about horse dick. I just wanted to know what's up with that.
I'm just a proud aficionado of drawn anthropomorphic furry pornography of young stallions with giant cocks. You know, as I think as are we all. You know, nothing out of the ordinary there.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I would say that horse cock is objectively the best looking cock that there is in the
See?
Animal Kingdom.
There's a voice of reason in this call.
And I've
Well, I
done
mean-
a lot of research on this, and it's just the best aesthetically that there is out.
Listen, we're all guys here, okay? I have a large penis myself, but I'm just saying,
Hey,
Of course.
at some point, you know, maybe if you're looking at it, even if the animal's standing on two legs, you know, come on, like we got to draw a line somewhere.
wait, there's no limit to how big the dick can be. It's in the realm of
Not the dick
imagination.
size, but the size of the dick and relative to what it's attached to.
Well,
You know what I mean?
maybe in real life it would be inconvenient to walk around with like 8 pounds of dick, like choking your jeans. But that's the magic of fantasy right there. It's in a better world. It's like how when you watch porn, like real life porn or whatever. It's like, oh, the plumber's over. Like, we're gonna fuck in 3 seconds. Oh, I'm getting a vanilla latte at Starbucks. I'm gonna trip on a banana peel and fall face first into her tits, and her blouse is going to come off, and then she'll start sucking my dick. It's a wacky world. It's the world we all want to live in. I'm proud of that.
All right, Vaush, thank you so much for your time.
Of course.